Welcome to another week of the GridCenter. Last week we brought y'all some heat, and I told you we're going to keep doing it each and every week. But more than the heat that we bring here, you should have saw the action on the field this Sunday. We had spectacular plays, backflips, one-hand catches, upsets, blowouts, close games, and everything that you can ask for when it comes to Las Vegas flag football. We are the biggest and the best. We are the Players League that gives you everything. In fact, last week is when we handed out all the championship rings to everyone. I mean, people jumping for joy, laughing, smiling. Some players getting their first ever rings. Other players, it's just normal. So congratulations to all of the summer champions. In the morning, you had second to none winning another championship. At night, you had No Lacking winning the Elite, Justice League winning the comp. And of course, in 5-man, you had Heem winning the Elite. You had Sin City winning the comp. And I got something coming up for you guys when it comes to 5-man. Be prepared, be tournament ready, because it's coming. But with all that being said, before we get into the action with the rankings and the players of the week, I need to address something and do some housekeeping. There was a incident, if you want to call it, on Sunday. Now, before I even get into that, I want to let everyone know, players, wives, girlfriends, children, anyone associated with Las Vegas gridiron flag football. Fighting, guns, weapons, there is an absolute zero tolerance policy. Now, I mentioned before that there hasn't been any fights in the grid in 2 seasons. I think there was one small altercation between two female teammates a while back, but there hasn't been anything since the beginning of this year. And I'm proud of that. And you guys should be proud of that, because not only is this a sanctuary for us to come and enjoy ourselves, to escape from work, to get away and just enjoy yourselves. A lot of guys come out there and they bring their families, they bring the children, they bring something to drink or to eat. Kick back and relax and enjoy your Sunday. And that's what this is. Not only is it a players league, but it's a family league. So there was a altercation, if you will, if you want to call it that. And I don't want to make light of the subject of the situation, because there are families out there. However, I also want to make it very, very clear. There are times where we may go on social media, it's maybe to get likes, maybe get reaction, or just have an emotional response. In this particular situation, and I'll outline it for those ones who weren't there, there was a situation on the last play of the game where a player got blocked and the B word came out of his mouth. And if you guys don't know, saying the word bitch is not tolerable in our league. Neither is the word pussy, because those words aren't synonymous with football. Okay? There's no form of use of that word in our league that represents football. So if you're saying that word is derogatory and it incites something else. In this situation, a player who said that word, it is yet to be determined if he was using it directly at another player or if he was saying it in reference to the way he was blocked. But nevertheless, that player calmly walked to his sideline, grabbed his stuff, and left. The game was over. The other player on the other team thought that he was was called a derogatory word, and thus he reacted. And he continued to react. He was upset. He was rightfully upset. His actions may have carried on a little too far, And we've had a discussion with that, and the appropriate matter of discipline has been issued out. He's okay with the discipline that's been issued out. There were words exchanged, and I want to make this clear for those ones who may not have been there and maybe painted a picture in their head of something. There was not a push, there was not a punch, there was not a swing, there was not a weapon drawn at all during that situation. There was a lot of back and forth. But both people that were involved in it also understand that this is a sanctuary for them as well. In the heat of the moment and competitiveness, were they upset? Yes. Did it go any further? No, it didn't. Cooler heads prevailed. What I don't like is that we will take situations like this and put it out for public consumption. I'm a very easy man to get in touch with. In fact, I carry around 2 of these. So if one is not working, the other one surely is. So if you need to get in touch with me about anything, any concern, any question, please feel free to reach out to me. And your words and voices will be heard. But I want to make it clear that there was never a talk of guns or weapons being drawn during that altercation. And yes, I was in the middle of it. I'm not saying that someone is lying or anything like that. I don't want to say that. I just know the emotions were high. Now, there was, however, a situation earlier in the day where that type of talk was brought up. And that was addressed well before this situation happened. That was addressed with that player, and he rightfully knows that that will not be tolerated and will never be tolerated. And the appropriate matter of discipline had been issued well before the incident that was posted on our social media was ever, before that coin was tossed. So anyway, I want to reiterate the use of the word bitch, the use of the word pussy, in reference to somebody's talent level will not be tolerated on the field whatsoever. Discipline will be handed out. If there is a matter or a mention of, I'm going to go get a gun, I'm going to my car, any of that, there is a zero tolerance to that. You will not be in this league again. We're not here for that. There's gun ranges all over the city if you just need to get your shit off. All right? But as men and competitive men who have aspirations of going to XFL or semi-pro or any other format, NFL, Canadian football, there should never be talk about gunplay. Some of us don't have those aspirations anymore. Some of us want to come out and unwind and enjoy ourselves, get home to our families. The way you get to the field is the way that I want to personally make sure that you get back home in the same way. We just buried a dear friend of ours, Curtis, yesterday. Nobody wants to go through that again over any type of violence. So it will not be tolerated. You have my assurances when it comes to that. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about some football for real. And Sunday, we had it all. We had some incredible matchups. And if you're watching this right now, I want you guys to give a big round of applause to my cameraman and videographer, because if you weren't watching, our live feed had the scores, the down, the distance. It had all that going on right now. We've invested a lot of money and time into you to make this league better for you, to enhance who you are. We have pictures and videos that you can take and upload and send those out. Build your own resume. We're doing that for you. Okay? Now, let's talk about the morning and what happened this past week. Let's get into some rankings. Let's get into some player of the week. Let's start with the player of the week. I think that was last week. I didn't get a chance to post that but those players of the week were rewarded for their efforts on the field. But in the morning, the serial killers had a very tough game 2 weeks ago with the passing of their teammate. This week, they came out full force against the Last Dance, aka the Bunnies. And Jeremy was in prime fashion. He threw or had a total of 330 yards and 4 touchdowns. Just an amazing performance. So this week's morning player of the week goes out to Jeremy G. You will be receiving your award on Sunday morning. And in the night league, this guy's no stranger to being a talent out on the field. A D1 cornerback, lockdown defender in the league. He's talented. But this season, he said, you know what, Sherm? I'm going out there. I'm going to show why I'm one of the best receivers in the league. And not only did he show up, he showed out. I'm talking about Tim Huff. Against the #1 ranked team, he had 6 catches, 165 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Our night player of the week is Tim Huff. You'll be receiving your reward Sunday night. Now let's get into some rankings as well. I know y'all love to see those. You saw the photography that we had. You saw Jay throwing the rankings pictures around. You guys are all talking about it. My DMs get flooded whenever I post the rankings. And I'm glad you guys like it. I'm glad you appreciate it. And I appreciate the competitiveness that you guys have as well too. So let's start in the mornings. And as I say, we always start from bottom up to the top. So in the mornings, our 6th ranked team, they're coming along slowly. It's our co-ed team, Cakes and Snakes, led by Frank, his wife, Bigley, Masters, Jerome is out there. They're putting the pieces together. And once they get everything going in the right place, they're going to be a force. They're not an easy win for anybody. So our 6th ranked team, Cakes and Snakes. Our 5th ranked team in the morning is the Last Dance. Now, like I said, the grid competitiveness is tough. Every week, it's going to be a strong team that's ranked 5th that's not going to be happy about it. I got to imagine they're not either. But the reality is, they're still just kind of playing around. They're preparing themselves. They're using this season to get ready for nationals in Florida in January. But they're not your typical 5th seeded team. They got horses all over. There's no easy win. In fact, the teams on their schedule, they're probably going to beat. But the shuffling of those cards is going to be interesting every week. It's going to be interesting seeing who shows up, how they show up, who steps up to the plate each and every week for them as well, too. So, our 5th ranked team, the Last Dance. Our 4th ranked team, surprise, because they were just ranked #1 last week. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Hemocracy. They dropped from 1st down to 4th this week. They have all the talent in the world. I'm sure they're not going to be ranked this low all season either. They got all the competitiveness. The problem with them is they party hard, and sometimes those early mornings, it's tough for them to get up and be, energetic for the game. But I see them coming on, and let this be a little bit of motivation for them and a fair warning to their next opponent. Our number 3 team, Sin City Goons. Now, this team is always there in the playoffs, always in the championship game. They enjoy being under the radar because they're gonna come out with their best punch every week. When you got somebody rushing you like Matt Moon, and you got T at the quarterback, JB at center, Rel, Measy, everyone. There's talent all over that team. There's not a weak spot on there. So that's why you're going to see competitiveness with them each and every week. Look for them to stay in this range, if not ascend to the top. Our number 2 team, jumping up from 5 last week, is Serial Killers. They just put a hurting on The Last Dance last week. All their players showed up this week, and they showed out. Player of the week, Jeremy, was in his mid-season form. Leonard was balling out. Walker was balling out. They got players all over the field. And funny speaking, Christian Brown, which was the receiver of the year last year, didn't have a good game. Didn't even seem like he was needed. That's how talented this team is. They're the perennial champs each and every season for a reason. Look to see them at the top of the heap every week. But our number 1 ranked team, they like being the underdog. They use it as a chip on their shoulder. They even personally talk about it, if you can catch them to speak about anything. It's the team in purple, the team that says they ready to take on every challenger and they want all the smoke. Davey, Cam, and those boys out there balling. You can't throw a pass downfield without somebody being there. They're opportunistic. They'll catch you sleeping. They're hard to read and defend on what they can and can't do. They run different styles of offense, and every week there's a different playmaker. I mean, they got 6'5" receivers, 6'4" receivers jumping on everybody. This team is a force, y'all. And if you've been sleeping on them, they're going to wake you up. Our number 1 ranked team in the morning, all the smoke. Now on to the nightly, under the lights, where it all goes down. See, people come out and play during the day, maybe get a little lubricated, and then the sun goes down, stars come out, players really shine, teams shine. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up with the night league as well. Our number 10 ranked team, Wasted Talent. Now, their captain, Kung Fu Kenny, wasn't there. He's nursing an injury. They still came out blazing as they always do. Trey at the quarterback position, running around. They got talent on their team. They just got to put it together. They come out ready to swing on anybody, figuratively, I mean. They come out ready to play each and every week. Our number 9 ranked team is the OTF Ducks. They just got their quarterback back from injury. They had things rolling, just couldn't put it all together last week. They're a team, they don't back down to anybody. They got talent all over the field, athletes everywhere. They're a difficult team to stop. You're gonna have to outscore them because you're not shutting them down. Our number 8 ranked team, I mentioned it last week. They might be the fastest team. If you put a track team out there, my money's on them. It's no limit. Young team, young guys, learning their way. They've all played flag before, but they're still putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Unfortunately, the quarterback went out last week, kind of like with the Dak Prescott injury. Got his hand hit, swole up, really couldn't grip the football, and it showed. They ended up not scoring any points in their game last week. Don't look for that to continue to happen. There's way too much talent on that team for them to go scoreless. I look for them to elevate going up in the season. The number 7 ranked team is a drop for them, which is second to none. I said it last week. They play with fire a little too much. They show up to games late, thinking they can step on the field and they'll win. They get caught that way. And it happened last week as well too. Poor execution down the stretch allowed them to lose a critical game. They come in at number 7. Our number 6 ranked team, much like their morning squad, all the smoke, Balls Deep is a team that you really don't want to face. Now they got losses on the season, but they're still adjusting to a new QB. And with their new QB, who was already week 1's player of the week, they have all the talent there. An unorthodox offensive style where they can run the ball, read options, speed options, jet sweeps. They bring that high school college football back, and they're difficult to stop. Watch this team be on the rise. Balls deep, ranked number 6. Number 7, the veteran team of everybody, Justice League. What else can I say? You got Jeremy. They brought in a new quarterback. You still got Lugo, Mingo, the Walker brothers. They kind of lay around in the weeds waiting for the right time to pounce on you. They kind of take games light and then they speed up in the end. They're going to continue growing and elevating in the rankings. Justice League. Our number 4 team is Heem. They went out and did what they normally do. Laugh, joke, party, have fun, all while kicking your butt on the field. They're a talented team, got all the right pieces. They're ranked 4th right now. That's not where they planned on ending up at the end of the season. We got Heem at number 4. At number 3, the Fighting T. Joneses. We're talking about Cobra Kai mixed with Sin City, and you add Cobra Kai pedigree, Sin City competitiveness and athleticism. You put that together, you got the number 3 ranked team. They don't back down from no opponent. In fact, they look forward to playing anybody that's on their schedule. At number 2, the mighty have fallen. They say heavy is the head, the king, heavy is the crown, or whatever that saying is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But we're talking about no lacking. The 2-time defending champs. They went out, they added new pieces to already a 30-man roster. But man, they ran into a buzzsaw this week. Look, I've seen the best of the best lose. But they really took one on the chin this week. And look, who could have known that the number 1 team would have came out the way that they did? I don't expect No Lacking to have a result like this again, not anytime soon. There's too much talent, too much pedigree, too much competitiveness on that team for them not to have, or for them to have a showing like that. But our number 2 ranked team is No Lacking. Which leads us to the number 1 ranked team in the LV Gridiron Night League. The namesake themselves, the Gridiron Gang. If y'all haven't seen them play, they're all familiar faces. It's the old TMMT squad. They got all the regular faces. Scooter is commanding the ship. Hot Hand, I don't think he's had an incompletion this season. But you got Munchie not even playing on the outside. You got the best receiver in the league playing center. That shows you they're just not playing around. And they're still dominating. And they went out and beat the defending champions 35-6. They forced 4 turnovers in the game. This is a team that's definitely a force. The player of the week, Tim Huff, went out and had 3 touchdowns on 6 catches against a top-tier team. You got Chris Marshall out there, K2, and they sprinkle in some youngsters as well to keep the motivation going. This is a very, very dominant team, well deserving of their number 1 ranking. Don't let it go to your head, because the mighty have fallen before, but you're going to get your props and your flowers right now. So that's it for this week of the GridCenter. Like I said, we're going to have special guests come out. We're going to have even more. We're going to bring you more to the fields. If you haven't gone back and watched the live feed, go back out there and check out what we're doing and providing for y'all. We said that we want to give you everything that you asked for. We want to provide it. But more than anything, we want to create a platform for you players and these athletes to be able to elevate there's the Olympics coming up in 2028 where they're going to have flag football. Well, guess what? I want a team from our league to be represented. If you look at the past tournaments, the champions of those tournaments have come from this league. So I want to highlight y'all. That's what this is all about. It's about giving back to y'all. Whether it's championship trophies, rings, accolades, players of the week, rankings, stats, videos, pictures, cards, player cards, stats, all those things, we want to give back to y'all. My ears are open to hear any suggestions that you have to improve the league. But more than anything, I want to give you y'all flowers each and every week because y'all make this league what it is. You put the talent out there, it's easy to record. So, with that being said, thank you again. See you out there Sunday.